Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I want to thank you all for joining. With today's webinar, we will learn how you can streamline your email marketing campaigns easily with our accesso ShoWare solution. We'll discuss how to use the data within your accesso ShoWare ticketing solution to create targeted campaigns. We'll also cover best practices for event setup and the latest insights into email marketing strategy before diving into our integration with the Emma email marketing platform. My name is Lisa Linden, and I'm a sales director at accesso ShoWare based out of Austin, Texas. And joining me today is Miss Yalma, sales engineer for accesso ShoWare based out of the upstate New York area. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items so you know what to expect and how to participate in today's session. You may have already noticed that your voices have been muted, and they will remain muted throughout the session. However, you will be able to type in any questions to our moderator, Katie, throughout the webinar. And at the end of the session, there'll be a Q&A taken from your questions. Okay, let's get started. I want to start our session with an overview of accesso and give you a little background on our business units, market presence, and our commitment to a positive guest experience. And that starts with believing that technology has the power to redefine the guest experience. Everything we do at accesso starts with thinking about that guest experience first. That puts a focus on simplifying operations, improving guest satisfaction, and then ultimately driving growth for our clients. accesso has a suite of solutions that service ticketing and data management, from queuing products to ticketing and point-of-sale software, to distribution channels, to marketing and personalization of the guest experience. Our solution helps solve problems and enhance the patron experience at every touch point during the journey. Our approach is to let our clients focus on what they do best, to provide outstanding experiences for their patrons, while we provide the technology to support those efforts. From theme parks to performing arts, zoos to festivals, our products and services support some of the top attractions in the world. Whether it be food and beverage point of sale, virtual line reservations, ticketing, or guest management, our solutions help streamline and simplify operations for a wide variety of venues. What you should take away from this overall is accesso serves up the right experience for the right industry. All these diverse markets may appeal to different fan bases and provide different overall guest experiences, but they all have one major thing in common: the demand for simple online ticket sales. acesso's focus on research and development is a major point of differentiation for our products. In 2016, accesso was able to invest nearly $18 million directly back into R&D across its platforms. That's honestly equal to some of our competitors' entire annual revenues. We invest heavily in our products because our industry demands it, because our clients benefit from it, and because it makes a positive difference in the fan experience. Innovation is core to our business and our partnerships. And it's part of our commitment to our clients that our software will never be frozen in time, but constantly evolving to meet new demands. So let's shift our focus to the accesso ShoWare product and how it can help you provide a positive guest experience while driving growth for your organization. Our accesso ShoWare solution integrates all your ticketing across one easy-to-use platform for guests and staff alike. Today, we're going to touch on some of the back-end features of our solution, designed to save your staff time and make it easy to reach the patrons that you need. Our accesso ShoWare ticketing solution provides all the tools that you need to create an impactful email marketing campaigns directly from the back end of the ticketing system, saving your marketing team valuable time and energy with each and every campaign. Build campaigns, target the right audience, trigger campaigns, and measure results all from your back end. It's easy to use, and we provide a pre-formatted template that you can add information, images, and hyperlinks with only a few clicks. Our email marketing integration allows you to mine your database of patron information so that you can create highly targeted email marketing campaigns that reach the right audience at the right time. Plus, it provides quick access to analytics, including the campaign history, send dates, open rates, and conversion rates, all from your ticketing system. Our email marketing integration is powered by Emma, one of the leading email marketing companies in the country. Emma's goal is to make it easy to create beautifully designed emails that drive results. These first two items were really important to us, and we know that they are important to you as well. Emma is also constantly innovating their own product and have an incredible amount of resources for their clients, like blogs, webinars, and industry benchmarks. I recently had the opportunity to attend an event that Emma hosted in Austin, where they shared some insights that I thought were really compelling and that we'd like to share with you today. Every day, there are at least 205 billion emails sent worldwide. From personal emails to newsletters and webinar invitations, our inboxes are inundated with messages every single day. Some marketers have even reverted back to postal campaigns because while it's easy to click delete on an email, it's a little harder to ignore a brochure or letter that you physically have to touch and dispose of. However, there are a few reasons why email marketing is still a very important part of the overall marketing mix. Marketers across all industries depend on email marketing to both communicate with audiences and drive revenue for their organization. 80% of marketers say that email marketing is a primary contributor to customer acquisition and retention efforts. Furthermore, the average rate of return on email marketing is huge, especially compared to costly postal mail campaigns or ad campaigns. For every dollar that you spend on email marketing, you can expect to earn $38 in return. Emma also recently surveyed a group of digital marketers and discovered that email marketing is in fact the top revenue generator, ahead of social media, search engines, display ads, pay-per-click, and mobile. However, most marketers find that they can't create the campaigns they want to due to a lack of time or resources. Whether it's compiling the right email list, getting people to open your emails, or getting people to click through them, there are places where our marketing teams sometimes discover that these campaigns are not performing the way that they want them to. So how do we preserve our own staff resources and also set our campaigns up for success? What areas are the most important to focus on? At Emma's Roadshow, one of the ideas they presented to us was that engagement is so much more important than reach. So when it comes to managing an effective email strategy, it's much more important to focus on delivering the right message to the right group of people at the right time. The size of your list should be one of the least of your worries. So let's start off by looking at some of best practices for email design. Here are a few tips that Emma shared with us that you can start using immediately. We've also compiled a few statistics to back up these recommendations. First, the subject line is incredibly important. A study by Convince and Convert found that over 69% of people will report an email as spam, based exclusively on that. Emma recommends keeping it short, specific, and compelling, but not too clever. Humor doesn't always work. And in terms of length, they say keep it to 50 characters or less. Secondly, make your call to action stand out. People love clicking on buttons, but they don't always love being instructed to click here. Instead, we respond much better with specific invitations like buy tickets. A study by Campaign Monitor found that including a button instead of a text link can increase conversion rates by as much as 28%. You may have noticed that in our webinar invitation, we covered our bases by doing both. Also, it may not come as a surprise that most email today is open on a mobile device. So make sure your emails are designed with this in mind. Use lots of white space so that people who are scanning your emails can easily find what they need. Organize your content into sections with clear headers and dividers, and use at least a 16 pixel size font to make it easy to read. And finally, keep it simple. A lot of us are email scanners. In fact, 80% of people only scan your email. Capture the big idea of your email with a bold image and a strong headline, so that someone will immediately know if it's relevant to them. So let's talk a little bit more about the engagement component. Over 50% of consumers will unsubscribe from emails if the content is no longer relevant to them. Maybe they attended a show at your venue and started receiving a monthly newsletter, but now they're not seeing the kinds of events that they want to attend anymore. They could have just lost interest or maybe attended something really niche if you present a variety of programming, or maybe they saw something right at the top that they weren't interested and neglected to scroll. Segmentation is a strategy that works. Juniper research found that segmented emails can drive 18 times more revenue than standard blast. And MailChimp says that open rates are 14% higher for segmented campaigns. So use the data you've collected to segment your subscribers and create targeted personalized emails. So what are some segmentation strategies that work? One of the most straightforward is to look for similar events, such as comedy shows, musicals, and Broadway series. Another strategy that works really well is to send a special offer to your most loyal customers, your long-standing customers whose valuable support you have worked so hard to earn. Give them a piece of exclusive content for a special offer just for them. On the other side, marketers have also found success with outreach to their least engaged patrons. Studies show that about half of your email subscribers will read a second email from you. So if your last effort didn't work and they're still subscribed, try again. Our accesso ShoWare solution collects the data that you need in order to create segmented, personalized emails. And best of all, it's easy to use and saves you time. You don't have to be a marketing genius to get started. Well, I'm sure at this point you're interested in seeing how it all works, so I'll turn things over to Missy to walk us through.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you everybody for joining today's webinar. So our integration with Emma is going to allow you to easily create, schedule, and analyze your email campaigns without ever leaving the accesso ShoWare platform. So let's take a quick look. I'm currently in my demo system, and the Emma integration lives in our marketing segment of our solution. So let's take a look at the pieces and parts that it would take for you to be able to start utilizing Emma, as well as create that email campaign. As I said, 2 components, and the first is settings. As a new client of Emma, you will be given a public and private API key, which are necessary within the back end of our solution to make this an integrated solution and to allow you to utilize these templated campaigns and be able to drive revenue through your campaigns and be able to take a look at the measurements and measure all the results. The default campaign from email, it is our suggestion to keep it with your organization name. Don't use a ghost type email because we have found that your patrons probably will not open that email, not thinking that it's from you, and certainly knowing that the email is from you, they will probably open that email. So utilizing the default campaign email and making it with your organization will help rise those open rates from your patrons and from those that you're targeting the email for. The second component of our email marketing integration with Emma has to do with the campaigns themselves. So again, this is 2 sections. So we've got unpublished campaigns as well as published campaigns. Unpublished campaigns are the campaigns that I'm currently working on. They are editable. I can create new campaigns. The beauty about the system is you can create many campaigns because they're triggered. So you have the ability to create several upcoming email campaigns, keep them unpublished so that you can edit them, tweak them before you lock them down and allow them to be sent to the triggered email. Let's look at a campaign that I have in the unpublished, and it's editable, so we can take a look at each feature in each part of this particular campaign. So within the Emma integrated solution, we've got 4 different tabulations, the first being general settings. The campaign name is just going to be something that's going to be recognizable by you so that when you're looking at all of your different campaigns that have been published and sent and now you've got the results for, you know exactly what that was for. So in my case, Broadway events, I know that it's Broadway events. Even to make it a little more clear, maybe Broadway events 2017, if I'm going to maybe reproduce this type of an email campaign year over year. Again, we've already talked about the from email, so we want to be able to keep it to our organization so that we will raise those open rates. Subject line, Lisa talked a little bit about this. Keep it short, keep it to the point, and just allow enough information to be able to be presented so that your patrons that are receiving this email campaign are going to want to open and find out what's going on. The next section of the actual body portion of our email campaign is the header image. So within the accesso ShoWare platform, you have control over all images. So you have the ability through our image management tool to upload different images and use them within the email marketing campaign. So you can use a banner such as I did, it says Broadway, but you might want to utilize your own logo so that your patrons completely understand who and where this email is coming from. So again, you have the ability for full control, full customization here, as well as the two messages. So you've got a header message, and then you've got your footer message. As Lisa said, keep a lot of white space, use a larger font, keep things, again, very simple. Get to the point of what this email campaign is about so that your patrons are encouraged to be able to click on the buy tickets or learn more buttons to be able to drive them to the next step and potentially purchase tickets, be a new member, give a donation, or whatever other options that you have there. And keep in mind too that because this is an integrated solution and it is a template, you could utilize this template for your monthly or your quarterly newsletters. So it doesn't have to be that marketing efforts to drive ticket sales or to drive revenue into your organization. It could certainly be used for just general information about what's happening within your organization. So HTML, you can change font sizes, you can change colors of the font. So again, just utilize whatever you need here to be able to provide the information to your patrons. My footer message, I did a little something different because Lisa talked about loyal patrons, those possible members or subscribers, or maybe loyal patrons that have purchased many tickets from you but have never become a subscriber or a member. So all I've done is used a hyperlink to drive patrons, maybe not just to buy tickets, but maybe to learn more about membership and what benefits come with membership, and then potentially get them to be even more loyal patron through our membership program. Our last step of this tab is our send date and time. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick the date and the time of when you want this email to be triggered. Keep in mind that as long as it's unpublished, it's never going to be sent. But once you go and you publish it, it will be in that lockdown mode. And when it reaches that particular day, it will automatically send to the segmented group of patrons that you're sending to. Our next tab is our promoted items. These are the items that we want to drive the attention to, what we're wanting our patrons to pay attention to, and in my case, Broadway musicals. So I've got 4 events already listed, but I do have the ability to add more. And by clicking on the add button, it provides me with different options that I have the ability to be able to add. And in my case, I was adding events. So event listing, if I click on it, it's going to give me my event listing where I have the ability to be able to add an event or even add a performance from that event. Maybe your email campaign has nothing to do with particular events, but more of a genre type of event. Our event category could work in that way. When you're creating your event categories that are associated at the event level, maybe you're using a comedy, or maybe it's an upcoming class or several classes, maybe those children classes that you might be doing. So you can utilize the event category section, and what the system is going to do is pull all of those events over and performances that reflect that particular category name. And again, keeping in mind that the system, because you've already created your events and your performances, when you're utilizing the Emma tool, it automatically will feed that information over into the body of this particular, or into the body of all of your email campaigns. You'll also have the ability to be able to pull just performance date ranges. So if I have a holiday campaign coming up, maybe all I'm interested in doing is announcing the upcoming performances in December. We recently added performance codes. So instead of having to pull up an event and then pull out particular performance codes, you can choose and put in here all of the performance codes that you wanted, and they don't have to be related to each other in any way, and you have the ability to be able to determine which performance codes are going to be part of that email campaign. Our third segment is Patron Segments. So this is really important. As Lisa said, take your time in doing your patron segments because you want to target market those patrons that are going to A, open, and B, buy. And that will, D or C, increase your revenue. So the system will allow you to create as many segments as you want to. When you become a patron or a client of Emma, and because our system and it's integrated within our solution, we are real time. So you are always going to have a patron segment name called All Patrons. And that's literally what it is. Every opted in patron that you currently have within your system and in your database. But you can create as many segments as you want to, and it's extremely simple. You're just going to create your segment name. So maybe my segment name is comedy, or whatever the case may be, or maybe it's holiday 2017 or whatever you want. So it's a segment name that you can refer back to when you are choosing which segments and segment names are going to be associated with an upcoming email campaign. So there's 5 different ways that you have the ability, actually 6 when you talk about order dates, that you can create a segment. And these are the ands and ors. I can utilize the order purchase date. So if I'm interested in anybody that's purchased tickets in the last 6 months, I can have a segmented list to talk about some upcoming performances. Patron Classification is a nice way to segment who will get a particular performance or particular email campaign, because Patron Classification is word of words of a description of who your patrons are to you. It could be, I could be a comedy lover, or I could love musicals or Broadway. So when I'm creating that patron segment, my name could come up into multiple segments if I have multiple classifications. Just like before, you have the ability to be able to utilize event categories. So I want a segment or a list of patrons that will be a segmented list of anybody that went to Broadway's. And that could be over a period of time if you wanted it to be. And anybody, regardless of what Broadway musical they went to, is going to be part of that segment. If I had an event 2 years ago and it was a comedian, and that comedian is coming in this year, I might want to create a segment of anybody that went to a particular event, so that I can now market to them that the same comedian is coming. It's 2 years later. Maybe you're interested in attending this show as well. You have the ability to do the same with performance. So not only event, but the performance level as well. And then you also have the ability to create segments based on pricing codes or pricing code groups. So if I've got an upcoming children's series, maybe I'm only interested in tickets that were purchased utilizing that pricing group. So once you've created your segment, you can choose which segment is going to be part of this upcoming email campaign that we're talking about. Our management tab. Our management tab will allow you to preview the email marketing campaign that we've been creating, so that you can take a sneak peek, so to speak, to make sure you're happy with it. You have the ability, when you're not happy, to be able to delete it if you want to. Or you have the ability to publish. And as I said earlier, when you publish and you click on publish, when you're happy with that email campaign, it's going to lock that campaign down. Unless you unlock it, it's just going to sit there until that trigger date and it'll send. So let's take a quick look at our preview of what we've done as far as our Broadway email campaign. So this gives me a nice understanding of what this particular email is going to look like for our patrons. I can see I've got enough white space. I don't have a lot of verbiage in here. I can change things up if I want to, but I can easily go through the entire email and make sure that everything looks the way I want it to look. And as I mentioned, the bottom, and I utilize this, all I did was use hyperlinks where your patrons will be able to learn more, and in this case, about being a member, because membership brings benefits, and potentially I could be a member and maybe get some discounted tickets in the future. We talked a little bit about the ability to do mobile. Please keep in mind we are completely mobile. So if I click on buy tickets for Wicked and I just drop my screen size down to phone, you're going to quickly see that everything renders properly. I have the ability to scroll down. I can read the description. I can see the YouTube video. I can pick a date for an upcoming performance. I can go through and completely purchase my tickets utilizing my mobile device. And super important. And as Lisa said, more people are opening emails on mobile device, so you have to make sure that you're completely mobile ready. Now that we've created our email, let's take a look at what the campaigns look like after they've been sent. So I do have a published campaign here that was just sent out about a month ago. I can't edit it because it has been published and it's complete. You can easily see some of our measured results right on this initial line, which mean that there were 5 orders from this one particular campaign. 27 tickets were sold at a total of $1,595. So this easily viewable, measurable result is there. I mean, everything is real time, and you have the ability to see quickly how that marketing effort was for that particular campaign. If I click on complete, it gives me a few more pieces of information. It'll tell me if, that 0 of my patrons opted out on this campaign. It'll give me my conversion rate, my clicked rate, my opened rate, as well as my delivered rate. Now keep in mind that this is a demo system, so it's a very controlled environment. There are only 20 people in my email list, so my numbers are probably a little higher than maybe the norm. But when you utilize that segmented list and really target market, that will increase the number of opens and potentially the number of click-throughs and purchases. So as an Emma client, not only do you get the integrated solution within the back end of the accesso ShoWare platform, but you're also a client, so you have full access to their site. So if I look at their site, and you're going to have your username and password, and you're going to be able to dial in and be able to easily see any of your recent campaigns and be able to do a little more and dive in a little deeper than what you can do on the integrated side within the ShoWare platform. So you're going to easily see in this particular campaign what my open rate is and what my click rate is. Again, keeping in mind that I am a very controlled environment, so my numbers are a little higher. If I look under my response, and let's take a quick look at that email campaign that we just talked about, this holiday campaign, and let's open that up and see some of the other information that you can get. So again, this is pretty much, you've already seen this through the integrated part of it. You can see the email itself that went out. You can see my opens by device. Now you're going to see that again, out of my 20 my 20 patrons or recipients, 100 opened by their desktop, but chances are yours are going to be far skewed and far different, especially with the mobile site. And it also tells you what different browsers your patrons are opening on. I also have the ability to be able to, let me go back to home again. Within the solution, you can create different types of email campaigns as well, keeping in mind that the one within the accesso ShoWare platform is a template. It is one template that you can truly manipulate any which way you want to. But if you really want to create something new, and if you are savvy and know how to be able to code your own, you do have that capability as well. So again, you have a blank template. This is kind of already pre-populated, almost like our template, where you can drop and drag and pull information in to create a different type of look and feel. Go back to create. You have the ability, if you know how to code yourself, you have the ability to utilize your own HTML code and create basically from a blank screen. And they also provide over 200 customizable designs. And these are kind of the true, tried and true designs. So if you don't want to, if you're not feeling very, I don't know, markety and don't really know how you want to go about it, but you want something that has been delivered before and has worked really well, then maybe one of these 20 or 200 customizable designs is going to work for you. So again, you do have the ability to be able to create your own email campaigns through their solution outside of ours. Just keep in mind that within the accesso ShoWare platform and utilizing the integrated, everything automatically feeds over those events, those performance information, whether using categories or classifications. All that information works, is integrated within our solution, so you don't have to do that. So outside and within the Emma portion, you're going to have to work in utilizing some hyperlinks and creating some hyperlinks within the actual email campaign itself. But you have both capabilities within the integrated solution or outside to be able to utilize. So I hope we've provided you with ample tips and tricks and suggestions to help you be able to move forward with your email campaigns. And that hopefully in turn will be able to drive additional revenue to your organization. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass this back to Lisa so that we can answer your questions.
Great. Thank you, Missy, for walking us through. If you're interested in learning more about our integration with Emma, please contact your client services manager who can give you more information about how to get started, or you can email us at sales@accesso.com. Emma also offers a 30-day free trial, which we encourage you to take advantage of. And at this time, we'd like to open the floor to any questions. Katie, do we have any questions that have been submitted?
Thank you, Lisa. We do have several questions, so we'll go ahead and start with this one. Where and when does a person opt in to create emails?
Patrons, if it's a new patron to your organization and they're purchasing a ticket online, they would create a new patron account, and during that patron account creation, there is at the bottom the ability for you to be able to customize that ask, whether they want to be part of your email mailings or if they want to opt in. Again, customizable, so say whatever you want to, but that's where they would start, and they would be able to check that off to be able to be included in any of your upcoming email campaigns. And then certainly on the back end, when there's a new patron coming to your venue and purchasing a ticket via the box office, the same scenario would help there and would work there too. You just have that opt-in question as your box office staff is creating that patron profile.
Great, thank you, Missy. Our next question is, are there other email templates available? Are they preset or are you able to customize them?
Gotcha. Currently, as you saw, we do have one email template, which many of our clients have been able to utilize in many different formats. Like I said, they have the ability to market upcoming events and performances, or even do their own monthly or quarterly newsletter, that type of a thing. So as far as the email template, we do provide you one, but if there's something that you need outside the box, we are more than happy to talk to you about customizing a template for you and putting it within the email, the Emma solution, so that you have that to be able to utilize as well. So you just work with your client services manager to get that moving forward.
Great, thanks, Missy. Okay, our next question is, do I need to be able to manually code emails in order to use this?
No, I say it all the time. If I can do it, anybody can do it, truly. So you don't have to be, a design wizard or a marketeer, so to speak. You have the ability, utilizing the template, it walks you right through all the different steps, and you can create beautiful email campaigns without having extra knowledge. And certainly, like I said, you have the ability to go back into the Emma portion of it, and if you have that capability of being able to code, you can do it at that portion, at that place.
Great. A couple more questions here. This one is asking, are you able to pull the names and email addresses out of the accesso ShoWare system and move them into Emma and use it directly there?
Yes, absolutely, you can. So we provide you the capability to create those segments, and then you would just export them off and then upload them into the Emma portion, and then be able to create your email campaign and send it from there.
Great, thank you for clarifying that. Okay, and our last question is a good one. How much does this cost?
So there's absolutely no cost from accesso, but as we mentioned, you're going to have to be a client of Emma. So working with your client services manager, they will get a referral to an Emma representative, and they'll work with you based on your size, based on your database size, based on what type of emails and how many emails you want to do. They will create a program that's going to work for you, and that will get you going. And just as a follow-up too, Lisa said they've got a 30-day trial, so utilize that first. And see the opportunities that you can open up by utilizing this tool, and then you can work with them to create the program that's going to work best for you.
Great. Thank you, Missy, and thank you, Lisa, as well as everyone for attending today's webinar, Email Marketing Made Easy with our accesso ShoWare solution. If we didn't have a chance to address your question, we will make sure to follow up with you individually. As Lisa mentioned, if you have any other questions or would like to learn more about our accesso ShoWare solution, please email us at sales@accesso.com. You will also receive a follow-up email within the next day with a link to view a recording of today's webinar for your reference. On behalf of accesso, Lisa, and Missy, thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.